Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Now, petite and focused, young and organized, creative and in control. Those are just a few ways one can describe Musha Neluheni, the young artist who completed her degree in art in Rhodes in the year 2005, was named the Sasol New Signatures competition that very same year. As talented as she is on the canvas, it is a contribution as an administrator and curator in an industry that has shown many just how on point and on her A-game Neluheni is. Now, between the years 2006 and 2009, she worked as the assistant curator for the Sasol Art Collection. In 2008, the Aardklop Arts Festival named her Young Curator of the Year. And then between 2010 and 2013, she worked as the Joburg Art Gallery's education officer, where she was promoted to curator for contemporary collections 2 years ago. Today, Musha Neluheni is the young creative. Morning Live is celebrating. Musha, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you.
Okay, so where are you? What year is it when you're introduced to this thing called the art?
I was very young. I can't even actually pinpoint it. There's nothing else I've wanted to do at all. So for me, it was always a choice. There was no other choice, actually.
Yeah. But have you always been in an artistic family? Have you always been surrounded by art?
Actually, my parents are both lawyers.
Yeah.
So no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
So it was quite a difficult thing to tell your parents that this is what I want to do. I want to study art after you've worked so hard, trying to put me through school, and what I've decided is I want to study art. That's quite difficult.
What was their reaction though? I mean, as lawyers, I imagine they're like, why art? Why can't you go to law or something?
In the beginning it was quite difficult, but they really did support me. Once I made it a clear choice that this is what I wanted to study at university, there was then no kind of backlash from my parents. They've always been very supportive.
Was there ever a point where you had to defend this choice at some point in your life?
I think I had to defend it more to the larger family than to my parents themselves.
Yeah.
And I had to say this is actually a relevant thing that I actually want to do and want to study. But I mean, in terms of my immediate family, it's always never been a problem.
Yeah. And who made it easier or worthier, more, appealing for you to go for this dream and, with everything you have?
I think my dad, he's always been the greatest supporter of me. He believes in everything that I do. He's always been, even today, he's the most supportive person, I think, in my life. I mean, my mother as well. They're just amazing people, and they showed me that they can do anything, therefore I can do anything.
Take us to a point in your career where you decided you wanted to curate instead of being the actual artist.
I think it's a very difficult choice that most people have to make, and you have to make that decision. But it was around, I would have said around that 2008 period in Aardklop, that I realized that I really enjoyed putting works together, creating something new from other people's artworks. It was something that really interested me, and I found quite, something different. It means that you can work with a number of different artists, not just your own work. It's not about your own just creativity. It's a different form of creativity.
And how did that come about, the Aardklop gig where you were curating works for other people?
I applied for the Young Curator of the Year and was selected. And it was something that, because I'd been working at the Sasol Art Collection already and started working with a lot of young artists, and these people were my contemporaries, they were my friends, I was exhibiting with them, and I just had an interesting idea for a show at Aardklop, just based on young Joburg artists, and that's how that exhibition came about.
What is the biggest challenge being a curator?
I think for me, my biggest challenge is because I work in a very formal institution, the Joburg Art Gallery, there are limitations. You're working in government. Yeah. There are so many limitations. That's the biggest challenge. But in terms of the art, it's easy and it's free and it's so much fun.
Given the challenges that you've spoken about, why is the Joburg Art Gallery still a great space for you to work in at the moment?
Well, as much as you have, like I said, the limitations, you've got 10,000 pieces of art to work with. That's the largest art collection on the African continent. The building's been there for 100 years. There's so much history. There's so much contemporary work. There's so much new and innovative stuff that's happening in the arts that kind of space at least gives you've got a collection to start with. You've got a building to start with. You can actually go insane and do whatever you want curatorially, which is really interesting.
What are you looking forward to achieving in an industry that is ever changing, ever evolving?
I think what's really interesting this year, which I've had lots of fun with, is the traveling. A lot of our shows are going overseas. We've just come back from Milan and we're taking an exhibition to Rio soon. So I think it's about exposing South African art internationally. That's something that I'm really excited about. I really enjoy the fact that now, we're doing the Venice Biennale, even though we nearly missed it this year, but we're doing it. So those kind of things are really exciting for the South African art scene to be seen internationally as relevant.
I'm not sure if this is a fair question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I mean, who's your favorite South African artist?
That's not a fair question. That's like, who's your favorite child? And not to mention that I know a lot of these people personally. So I can't say, there are so many great, amazing young people right now that it's so difficult to say. I mean, we've got so many young people who are, like Atipata Ruga just won, the Standard Bank Young Artist. He's amazing. You've got people like Anthea Moyes who are going to Venice, Marisa Bande. There are so many great young contemporary artists at the moment that it would be difficult to choose.
And how do you, you've just spoken of Anthea and Ati, and they're both performance artists. And in a space where we assume that art is supposed to be in a gallery somewhere, how do you incorporate those kind of people into mainstream art?
Well, you must remember that they also record their art. Their performances are recorded in different formats. So we own work by those artists in our museum, but there will be stills from performances or video pieces from performances. So it's actually not that difficult to incorporate performance art into a formal museum space anymore, because with a lot of museums what we do is you will have the performance artists come and perform throughout a period of time. We won't keep them chained there for 3 months, but maybe once a week or something they will come and perform if it's their show. All
right, Musha, thank you so much for talking to us. Musha, she's one of South Africa's youngest art curators. In 2008, the Aardklop Arts Festival named her Young Curator of the Year. She's currently Joburg Art Gallery's curator for contemporary collections. Her name is Musha Neluheni, and she is today's Young Creative. Let's take a break. Stay with us.